Alright, today this video is going over how to install these shelves that you see right here along the length of the garage. It's a perfect size for these extra large yellow containers that go on the top. I've got them all along here. I've got one row up there, and today I'm installing another row that's going to go right here. Obviously these are easy to customize to however you want it. I wanted it so that it would fit my yellow totes right here when the garage door's down, and it's pretty much the perfect size. I made it all out of 1x6s. This is 4 feet down. One thing that I wish I had done differently was this bracket. This is just an 8-inch bracket right here with three screws into the wall and then 3 into the shelf right here. You can see I added this later because as I started putting weight, these started to sag a little bit, but this holds it up perfectly. It is a little bit of overkill to have 7 screws into a concrete block wall, but it holds the weight really well. The shelves are holding up, and it's exactly what I need, so I'm gonna build 2 more of them. Customize them how you want, build them to whatever type of dimensions you want, whatever works best for you, but I'm just gonna show you how I did it and how I got all these up into the wall. All right, so the first thing was I bought all the wood. I got 3 8-foot 1x6s and then an 8-foot 1x2 right here, because I'm putting up 2 shelves today. Take the 1x2 and cut 6 different 16-inch support sections for the underneath. Alright, now I'm going to take the 1x6s and cut each of them into half, so I got 6 4-foot sections. Alright, once you have your pieces cut, lay them all out and give them even. You'll take your supports right here. I'll just eyeball it, put 2 on the very ends, 1 somewhere in the middle, and then the supports, the brackets, are going to go right in here. So from here, just drill them in, put 2 screws on each, and that held it pretty well. I have a bunch of leftover screws, so I'm just getting rid of these. These are the better ones for the job. It's like a decking screw, and then they got a bunch of these that are left over, so as long as they go through the support and get into the 1x6, you'll be good. Alright, at this point you got your shelf ready to go and ready to get the brackets drilled in, but I'm going to do this whole same process to the other one, and then I'm going to move to the garage. Alright, your next step is going to be to come in here to your wall, decide how high you want your shelves to be. I want these probably about like this high, but really it's going to determine where you put these brackets at. So these I am going to measure. I'm going to space them out evenly, so 6 inches from the start of the wall here, 6 inches from the end of the wall here, and then I'll measure to the middle point, 6 inches in from that, 6 inches out, and then these are going to each go on the wall. With these, when you're putting these on, it's probably best to do the first one, so I'm going to put 1 in and then mark the rest of them based off of this one. I'll just put a piece of wood to find level and put the leveler on there, and then I'll mark it with a Sharpie where I'm going to drill into. Be careful though, if you're drilling into concrete, I'll show you that process too, but it's a lot different than if you're drilling into studs. If you're drilling into studs, you just want to find where the studs are on your wall and then drill into those instead of just wherever on the concrete. But because it's concrete, it's going to be its own special process that I'll show here in a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and mark and mount the first one, and then add in the rest of them from that. Alright, now the next part of this is you gotta drill, for me, you gotta drill into the concrete. You gotta get a special masonry concrete bit for this. But you'll get this if you order or if you buy these Timecodes screws. One of these will come with it. This one is a little bit of an overkill. You can see it's pretty big, and that's going to be going straight through the concrete and kind of into empty space, but it's what I've got on hand. I've got a bunch of them, so I'm just going to use these. But you got to drill out a pilot hole for each of these, and you got to stick the tap con in there, and you got to ratchet this down either by hand. You can do it with a drill for a little bit, or you're going to have to get an impact to be able to drive this into the concrete, because this is the worst part of it. So I'm going to go ahead and drill the holes here that I got lined out for this bracket. And then I'm gonna mount the bracket, and then like I said, I'm gonna measure everything else out, mount all those, and then go to the next step of putting the shelves onto the bracket. These two up, I'm gonna go ahead and put the first shelf up just to finish this one shelf, and then I'll do the other one on my own time. But basically, just throw the shelf on these brackets. It's not gonna sit on its own, so you're gonna have to hold it up. It would sit on its own if you had like a 10-inch bracket under here, because that would be more than half the length. But what I'm gonna do, once I've got it in position, go up underneath it, holding it in place, and I'm gonna draw a circle where each of these bolts are gonna go through. Alright, so I'm gonna drill through each of these holes right here, and it'll be big enough that I can stick these carriage bolts through. So I got carriage bolt that's gonna go through on the top, that way it's smooth. On the top of the shelf, it'll go down into the wood, and I'm gonna drill this the nut in from the bottom, and then it'll tighten up, and maybe you can see the bolts come through right here. They stick out just a little bit, but it's smooth on top. From here, take the board, get back on the mounts, and start trying to get these to line up. Found that they really don't line up all the way the first try all the time, so might have to take it back down and do some more adjustments. Basically, once you get one, you want to screw that in so that you can hold this in place, and then start messing around with the other ones. Yeah, so this one right here doesn't quite line up. It's a little too far this way, so I'm just going to drill it from underneath. And that's another way you could do it too. You could just make marks with your drill and then go through and do it, but whatever. If it works, it works. All right, now the underneath support that I was mentioning, which is this right here, that's the part that kind of helps with, this is a little bit unstable. It'll hold weight, but I wanted it to be more supported from right here underneath. So I got these 16-inch like closet made type bars, and pretty much I just mark out where right along here you'll see me push it up, and I'm gonna put a screw right in there just like that. And then one of the Tapcon anchor be down here on the bottom, and that'll give it plenty of extra strength. You put all the weight you want on there, and it's gonna be all right. All right, now the shelf is done. Perfect. Put the paddleboard right here on top of it. Again, customize however you want to. There's a million ways to do it. Do it however works for you. Good luck.